I'm Juliann Kuchocki, and welcome to part 2 of the Making of Don't Explain. In part 1, we were in the studio at Inception Sound recording the rhythm section, with Mark Kelso on the drums, Duncan Hopkins on the bass, Rob Pilch on guitar, Brian Dickinson on piano, and also Bill King, my arranger and producer for this new album. In part 2, we're going to go back into the studio and layer the album with more instruments, including a horn section, percussion, and some fabulous background singers. There is a lot of work involved in making your own CD from the top to the bottom, starting with the graphics, the artwork, the photography, the pressing of the CDs, the choosing of the music, the vocal lessons, and of course, playing out in the local clubs.
So today in the studio we have clarinet, sax, and trumpet, and Bill is unable to take the footage, so we've got me today on the camera. It should be fun.
Well, June, welcome. And, you know, getting back to music, I understand you didn't make your first CD until 2005. Wait.
Yes. And there's a whole long story behind that. I wanted, because when you're on the road, you're like a gypsy. So and even when you're in town doing theater, you're working pretty much 6 days a week. So I never had the opportunity to do that. And then my husband said to me, you really should go back and you really should get on the stage again. So I chose jazz, and that's how come it took me that long to do it.
There's a hiatus. Wow. When you decide to make a creative decision as to where you're going to go in a career, one might question years coming into that and thinking, is it too late?
Yes, and that's really true. But I think that if you've had talent at an early age, and I don't think your talent just disappears into thin air. I think that you can hone your talent so that it becomes more polished, so that your wisdom can connect, and you bring that to the songs, especially in the jazz genre, where you have to really have lived to sing some of those songs. And I think that people can grow into those songs. So if your vocals are still working beautifully, and if you have a sense of youth, even though your years belie that fact, I don't think it matters. I think that what you bring when you're older is just as important as if you were young.
Interesting. Now, in Juliann's career, you both run a parallel in that the automobile hasn't been friendly to either one of you.
No, that's true. I think because she was primarily a dancer, it was much more devastating for her, but it did occur.
Now, you both share something else as well, the same producer in Bill King.
Mm-hmm. And he is quite a remarkable gentleman.
Oh, sorry.
I knew it.
Are they both G sharps there?
Where's that?
Yeah, I think okay, sorry. No, I got just the ending there.
Oh yeah, last 4 bars.
Yeah, you're playing
bars.
you're playing the same figure twice, right? Da 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 da, the same notes. On the second last
yeah.
Okay.
I just can't play them right, but I play them both. If I could play them right, they'd both be the same.
love your poise, your excitement.
I am digging it.
I'm digging it.
Juliann, why did you decide to make this CD?
I sat with myself for a very long time, Douglas, to decide exactly what I wanted to do with my life, especially after, you know, having basically about a decade of being hit by cars and recovering, hit by cars and recovering. I had to sit with myself I gave myself about 6 months. I bought a home down by the lake and just meditated and spent a lot of time alone. And what came to me was the passion that I still have left really inside of me is music. And it just burns inside of me, and there's nothing else that I can do. I mean, there isn't anything else that I'm supposed to do. It's as simple as that.
When you decided to make the final selections for the CD, you put yourself in a different seat. As well as being a performer, you became a fan as well.
I had a chance to get to know the city, and I actually handpicked all of the musicians. I actually had a chance to go into all of the clubs and watch everybody in action and see who could do what. And I had a really good opportunity to investigate and study who would be the best for my album for actually each song. I have Brian Dickinson playing piano on some tracks. I have Bill King playing tracks for other songs. And of course, he produced my album as well.
When you saw these artists, did that temper what selections you might play, or did you have selections in mind and say, okay, who can fill what I think the best role in this particular song? So that's a great artist question. First or song first?
That's a great question. I actually had an opportunity for a little bit of both. The album actually started off a lot more flirtatious and fun and light, and it ended up, I think, a lot more serious. And Don't Explain being the cover, you know, basically the name of my album is a very serious Billie Holiday tune. And I knew as soon as Brian Dickinson started playing, I'm renaming my album.
Tell us a little bit about the Jazz Safaris with James B.
The Jazz Safaris with James B were instrumental for me in getting to know the city of Toronto again. I had basically taken a very long hiatus, and I was off. I had done theater around the world for approximately at least 10 years and just left. I was living in Tokyo. I was living in Boston and Chicago and New York and Los Angeles and Minneapolis, you name it. I was there all over the United States and Canada. When I came back, I was truly out of the loop. And I met James B actually at June Garber's CD release, and you can't help but notice James B. He's amazing. I mean, of course, I was noticing June because I was videoing her, and she's got this magnificent energy about her. But James was sitting beside me, actually behind me, and he introduced himself. And I learned more about these Jazz Safaris, and we went out on the town and went to all the different clubs in Toronto. The Jazz Safaris are hosted by James B., who is a radio announcer at Jazz FM 91, which is Canada's premier jazz station. It's an amazing, amazing jazz station. And it really allows you an in-depth, close and personal look at what's going on in the jazz scene in Toronto. And of course, he's full of information and knows a lot of the artists personally. So it was a great opportunity for me to get a chance to really dig into the city and have a certain kind of, I think, prestige as well, walking in with him, where the musicians were a little bit more open to me. And I went on a couple of these. So I really, really got very, very lucky with all, I guess, the stars have lined up for me when it comes to this CD, no doubt about it.